Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 1st February 2021. In this video, we'll be discussing this couple of issues. This article is taken from the Live Mint and it is titled What We Must Regulate When We Regulate Social Media Platforms. This aspect of regulating the social media has been a big concern because let us take the example of what happened recently. Twitter, Facebook, and other social media platforms have banned Donald Trump on the pretext that he's disturbing the harmony of that country. He happened to be the president of the United States, one of the most powerful nations in the world, and he is considered to be the most important person in the entire framework of global governance. This time, the reason was justified. But what if there is a pro democracy voice or a voice that is antagonistic to the interests of these social media giants, raises his voice on social media platforms and they censor him? How to deal with such a situation? In today's world, banning from social media is actually losing out access to millions of people that you can reach out at scale in a very short span of time. This is very important for businesses or individuals from every walk of life in their own sphere of influence. So, cutting out that access, what can be the parameters and what should be the role the government should be playing, because social media is going to be even more powerful than the traditional electronic media and the print media. So let us in this article look at those parameters. One of the biggest problem in today's world is the decreasing attention span. If you take a look at the algorithms of almost every social media platform, we tend to jump from one issue to another issue. We just scroll through videos. Gone is the time where we have the patience to look at small videos which span around 15 to 20 minutes on an issue. We are demanding fast access to information. That is the reason why TikTok is such a huge hit. Similarly, platforms like Instagram, YouTube have adopted this short version of videos. Even Facebook is coming with small videos. So, this is a sign of our decreasing attention span and our ability to stop and reflect on issues that really matter in our day to day world. The algorithm of these companies is tricking the brain to demand fast information in a very short span of time, which is a very dangerous scenario. So this is a challenge for any liberal democracy, because if the country is not thinking, if the population is not thinking on issues that really matter and is just consumed in the mindless entertainment that these content platforms are providing us, it is a very dangerous scenario. If you take a look at the history of our world, democracy thrives on a simple principle, or even liberal platforms or liberal thinking thrives on that ability to think, pause, reflect on issues, come up with debates, discussions, and deliberations to come up with solutions for the problems of our society. This phones and the increasing penetration of social media has been reducing that. So that is the first area that we have to focus upon to maintain a integrity of our political systems. The response of the governments across the world is twofold. One, there is government regulation which regulates the usage of social media. For example, there are certain countries which impose temporary restrictions on how the algorithm is designed for Facebook. Such government regulation is problematic because it will curtail the freedom that tech companies bring with and the evolution of technology. The other aspect is antitrust laws. What are these antitrust laws? Say a company, I'll explain with an example. Say a small company like, say A, wants to enter into a business and they don't have a platform for marketing. So it approaches Amazon to market its product. Now, Amazon has its own products like Solimo, etc. Amazon Basics is another example. So it will look at this company as a competitor and push the search results of this products to the third and fourth page. What it will essentially do is it will bring down the visibility of this company and increase the visibility of the products that are manufactured and marketed by Amazon directly. So this is a conflict of interest. Now this is where government can step in and say that the algorithm cannot do that. You have to give the same kind of visibility to product A, and you should not prioritize Amazon Basic. The democracy can be found in user ratings and reviews, and these user ratings and reviews should be audited, because there is a possibility of fake reviews which will push the ranking of that particular product. So all this is a part of the antitrust laws regime. But again, there is a problem. Let us take the example of Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram, it also owns WhatsApp, it also has its default messenger, and the usual parent company Facebook. So all this are integrated in a single system. From Instagram, we will have access to a lot of data, pictures data, location data, etc. And the recent WhatsApp controversy proved that it has access to almost everything that we do, except private chats which are supposed to be encrypted. But there is a lot of disbelief going around the safety of WhatsApp, so people have been moving to other social media platforms like Signal or Telegram. Similarly, when we are talking about Messenger, it is aimed at disrupting the ecosystem through integration of various other features in the future, like making a marketplace exclusively for businesses on Messenger. So that is how they envisage. So having all these products and ensuring that all the consumers stick to this ecosystem will make it a sort of a dependency on Facebook. So they can have an unregulated monopoly over data, the decisions that we take, and the kind of content that flows and approaches people. So this sort of monopoly should be targeted by antitrust laws. But the author in this article suggests other way. Because of the scale that Facebook offers, what we have to ensure is there is no irregularity in the algorithm. So basically we are talking about regulating the algorithm in such a way that it is not in favor of any particular side or against one particular side. So this sort of detailed technical regulation requires capacity building from government side, which is absolutely lacking at this present moment. So that is the reason why many governments practically are choosing government regulation. So the alternative that this writer proposes is algorithmic competition, which is basically, previously we had a choice to look at what kind of content will appear on our timeline in Facebook. So we used to get all the information from our friends, but today if you take a look at your feed, it is either business promotions, or it is business pages or meme pages that you subscribe to. Basically, we do not have a choice in what kind of content we view on our Facebook timeline. So that should be regulated according to the view of the author. Similarly, when we are talking about application interfaces or APIs as they're commonly called, we don't have access to their coding. So they should be transparent to third party associations, wherein the algorithm is made public. So there is a counter argument that this algorithm can be copied as well. That is the reason we have to trust a third party. This third party will take a look at the algorithm and ensure that it's very safe to open up, and this third party will be the auditor for ensuring algorithmic competition across platforms. So this should be the way forward according to the view of the author. So this algorithmic competition is a very novel concept, and we have to understand and appreciate the nuances of this going forward, because we are moving into a world of Industrial Revolution 4.0, as we have already discussed in a plethora of articles in our previous editions. So that is the gist of this article. This article is about India's aging dams. Now, what is the purpose of a dam? It is supposed to block the passage of water, and they act as storage. So dams and reservoirs are meant for storage, and they ensure water security of our country, because access to water is one of the most important aspect of our ease of living. Without water, life cannot sustain. This is a given fact and we all know it. So dams, which are supposed to ensure this water safety and water security, are somewhere down the line going to become obsolete because of the old dams that we have. Dams, one important factor we have to consider is, say this is a dam. When you're storing water, what happens is eventually a lot of soil gets accumulated here and puts pressure on the dam walls. In the next few years, almost 80% of the dams will become obsolete because of our old age of our dams. What this will do is, this will impact the water security scenario of our country. So in order to handle this situation, two bills related to water governance were passed by Lok Sabha last year. One happens to be the Interstate River Water Disputes Amendment Bill, and the other one is Dam Safety Bill. So this Dam Safety Bill and River Water Dispute Bill was actually looked at as a interstate water governance issue, and seek to improve the interstate water disputes resolution by setting up a permanent tribunal supported by certain mechanisms which make this resolution fast tracked. However, we have to understand the real concern. The Dam Safety Bill, which aimed to deal with the risks of India's aging dams with the help of a comprehensive federal institutional framework, is not the only limited issue in this entire water governance. This include emerging concerns of long-term national water security and sustainability, the risks of climate change, and the growing environmental challenges, including river pollution. So all these aspects should be considered in our water governance, and ensuring the dam safety will have a direct impact on river pollution and water security aspects. If you take a look at the example quoted in this article, siltation, which we discussed just before, is a major problem, and in Bhakra Dam, it is 139.86% more than what was anticipated or what it was designed for. Now, what is the impact of this statistic? So, in order to understand the impact, what this essentially means is, it was originally designed to function for 88 years more, but because of this siltation, it is now expected to last only 47 years. So this means that the efficiency of this huge dam has been reduced by more than 50%. How will this impact our economy? Firstly, crops will have to depend on rainwater. So this increased dependence on rainwater will lead to failure of a lot of crops. The yields would come down, and it will increase the cost of insurance. So this increased insurance cost means inflation, and the instability of this entire agricultural sector will dismantle the economy at various levels. The next one is, we are talking a lot about climate change plans. Now when you have silted dams, all this becomes a irrelevant aspect because we cannot plan properly. Now when you have such high siltation at reservoirs, it obviously means that there is a lot of soil erosion in a lot of other areas. So the flood cannot be controlled because there is absolutely no friction when you compare it with the ground upstream. So this is how it happens. This is upstream, and somewhere here there will be a dam, and this is the downstream area. Now because of the heavy siltation in this region, what happens is, or even this areas, all the siltation and will actually come downstream and get accumulated here. This will put pressure. If the dam fails, it is going to be a colossal disaster for the areas downstream. So this siltation has twofold problems. One, the risk of dam failure, and secondly, uncontrolled flood situation. This is what happened in the case of Chennai and Kerala, because the upper areas were not in a position to control the flood because of lack of siltation in that area. Soil erosion is a major problem. So all this will culminate in the end result of lack of access to water. In the future, it is expected that 50% of the people will be residing in our cities, in our country, and this means lack of access to water means basically life will come to a standstill. Therefore, addressing this simple issue of aging dams will have multiple effects in the future. So this is an ignored issue, and whatever water governance we are talking about is just about resolving the interstate conflicts. So we have to move beyond that rhetoric and get into the actual technicalities which have repercussions for the future as well. So that is the gist of this article.